It was the first city to be named American Capital of Culture and the only city to receive the honor twice. And it's no surprise, this city has the highest standard of living in Mexico and ranks as the second safest in North America, and is one of the continent's top retirement destinations. A stark contrast to the Mexico you see on the news. And while nearby Cancun attracts young partygoers, this city caters more to a sophisticated crowd looking to experience the authentic Yucatan. Bienvenidos a Merida! Merida is the largest city in southeast Mexico and is the cultural, economical, and political capital of the state of Yucatan. On January 6, 1542, a conquistador by the name of Francisco Montejo the Younger founded the city of Merida atop the ancient Mayan settlement of people. And every January, the city celebrates its founding with a month's worth of parties and cultural events. To późno. One thing you'll notice about Merida is that a lot of the old colonial buildings have been converted into businesses like restaurants and hotels, including the one that we're staying at, the Hotel Nacional by Cathedral. Although I have been to Mexico twice before, this is the first time I'm actually staying in the country for multiple days. Pretty excited though, not too sure what to expect. This should be an interesting week. Our first meal in Merida. I'm not sure, you want to see? Henneken, to takie zagawy. This is a Henneken, right?
Yes. Something like this in Yucatan would be money.
After the Spanish conquest, the Mayan population was pushed to the outskirts of the city, and the present-day Old Town district, the third largest on the continent, became known as the White City due to its large European population. And as with most Spanish colonial cities, the most important landmarks can be found around the main square. In this case, the Plaza Grande. In 1561, Mayan laborers began tearing apart their own temples to construct for the Spanish what in 1598 would become the largest church in the Yucatan and the second oldest cathedral in the New World after the cathedral in Santo Domingo. Ironically, the church's artwork depicts not conquest or oppression, but rather reconciliation and respect between the Mayans and the Spanish. Sadly, however, much of its original artwork was destroyed during the Mexican Revolution, amongst which was the Spanish royal coat of arms, whose lion and castles were chiseled away and replaced with the Mexican eagle. Another noteworthy art piece is the statue of Christ, which is believed to have been carved from a tree that was struck by lightning and burned all night without charring. Now, during this period, each racial class would have had their own place of worship, and the cathedral was reserved exclusively for the Spanish. And this building right next to the cathedral is the former Archbishop's Palace, which has been converted into a commercial center and contemporary art museum.
Happy birthday!
And this dilapidating structure right here is the chapel of Our Lady of the Rosary. It is all that remains of a hospital and convent that once belonged to the Order of St. John of God. This is nice. We're exploring the courtyard of the governor's palace. It was built on the site where the royal house once stood during the colonial period. The current building took shape in the 1880s. Its facade contains a replica of the famous church bell of Dolores Hidalgo. Find the paintings done by renowned 20th century Mexican artist Fernando Castro Pacheco and illustrate the entire history of Yucatan. One of Merida's most iconic and photographed buildings is the Palacio Municipal, or City Hall. It dates from the 1730s, with the present clock tower being added in 1928. It is one of the finest pieces of architecture in Merida, and it was from here that the town crier gave news of Yucatan's independence in 1821. One of the oldest and most representative religious monuments in Merida, the Church of the Nuns was constructed in the first half of the 17th century as a temple and convent to house nuns of the Conceptionist order, the oldest in the Yucatan. Here they taught both Spanish, Creole, and Mayan children useful skills. Then, following a decree by President Benito Juarez, the nuns were expelled from Merida in 1867 and then had a very brief stint as a winery before being returned to the clergy in 1920. It is presently occupied by Salvatorian Padres, though as an homage to its history, it is still referred to as the Temple of the Nuns. It is also said to contain the tomb of one of the descendants of Emperor Moctezuma, as well as the tomb of Juan de Aguilar, the only conquistador known to be buried in Merida. Ten co miasto założył. Oh, it's nice. We're exploring Merida's famous Casa Montejo, constructed in the 1540s. This elegant colonial mansion was the home of the city's founders, the conquistador Don Francisco de Montejo, who later went on to conquer the entire Yucatan Peninsula. His descendants, who were renowned for their contributions to the cultural and artistic heritage of Yucatan, lived here until as recently as 1978. It is the oldest building in Merida and one of the only examples of a Renaissance style known as Plateresque on the American continent. Though only one section of the original palace actually remains, and most of the European furnishings date from the late 19th to early 20th century. Every Sunday, sections of the old town are closed to traffic as the city puts on a series of open-air street parties.
Con sus dos pistolas y su traje de cowboy.
Me encanta venir a Mérida el domingo.
¿Sabes por qué? Porque hay mucho turismo.
Mucho turismo, yo veo que hay
Solo, papi. ¿Con quién veniste?
¡Ay, verlo!
¿Dónde está ella?
¿Dónde está la dama?
La ida. Ay, no importa, está solo. Ay.
Ah.
Oh, we're gonna go try that balcony restaurant that's right across from our hotel.